Hello there everyone, and welcome to another Let's Play with me, your host Tim. And today, we're going to start playing through Vampire: The Masquerade-Bloodlines together. There will be some prep here that you can skip by going to the comments section down below, where there will be a pinned comment from me with a timestamp in it. Click on that timestamp to be brought to character creation, in case you don't want to hear me talk about how far I got in this game, why we're playing it, and any special stuff I'll do while playing the game, and so on. You'll also find a second timestamp down there too if character creation doesn't interest you. I don't intend to spend longer than like 5 minutes or so talking about it, as if you really care about character creation, I think a guide can be found on Steam or elsewhere fully explaining the different disciplines, skills, and attributes. Still, time is precious, so that second timestamp will take you to the end of character creation where you can see the character we create in all his glory. So let's go ahead and get the prep done. So, what is VTM:BL? Well, it's a first-person / third-person RPG game. We'll be playing the role of a newly created vampire who has to survive the horrors of California. We'll be subjugated to the political posturing and dark intrigues of various vampire clans and other more horrific creatures embodying the dark underside of the Masquerade. Navigating these waters won't be easy, because we'll be facing dangerous foes, powerful enemies, and unofficial content. It's all waiting for us, because we're playing a modded version of the game as well. So I am using the unofficial patch. I think I can see it here. Here it is. Yep, this is the version of it that I am using right here in the options menu. This adds some additional features and balance changes, which are way too numerous to go over in this video. But that comment down below from me will also have a link to where I grabbed this from. So if you care about what all the differences are, you'll be able to read about it right there. This way I don't have to. You should know that I have beaten this game roughly 5 or 6 times. 4 or 5 of those times were with the Volcavian, and the only other time was with the Nosferatu. I haven't played this game in a long time now. As well, I think the last time I played this game was back in 2013 or so, when I had last played through this game with a Nosferatu. Those old playlists of mine don't exist any longer. They didn't hold up to my higher standards that I have today, so I have purged them. Which is also one of the reasons why we're starting to play the game today. Today, by the way, is July 13th, 2021. I plan on recording just this part 1, and then waiting to record the rest until this part is uploaded. Be sometime in August, I believe. From August through November-ish, I upload Halloween-ish types of games to my channel-ish. This is one of those, so hopefully you folks won't mind a break from the standard turn-based strategy stuff I play for a bit. I love Halloween. It's my favorite holiday. I love the fall. It's my favorite season. And I love horror games. They're amongst my favorite types of games to play, although you wouldn't really know that judging from all the other types of games I play on my channel. Right, so since I played this game before, you should expect me to remember the major plot points and twists and turns. I won't go into spoilery territory though, even though probably most of you have seen or played this game through by now. There'll be no great reveals until we're actually done with whatever it was they would have revealed. So you won't have to worry about me talking about spoilers again before those bits of the game actually occur. I remember enough about the game to know where most of the jump scares are happening, and I don't think they'll probably scare me except for those horrific monsters in... I don't want to ruin it because I just said I wouldn't be too spoilery, but there are these creatures that are just designed to jump scare you to hell. They do a great job of it. I'll give a warning that when we're entering jump scare territory for those of you who don't like it, so I'll love it. I hate fighting those things, but in any case, I still think the game will be creepy enough for all of us, even though I will know where most of those jump scares are. So to help with that, by the way, any of the random talking I'll be doing as we play the game, which there'll be quite a bit of that, I will be shutting up during the creepy areas of this game in order to keep it more atmospheric. So I'll mention when I intend to be more silent during the intros to those videos where I intend to play the game that way. I will still talk about VTM and other random things as we do the various like street walking, as we are just moseying about through the cities and what have you. Whenever we're back at our pad, I'll probably give a quick synopsis about what I think is going on and how well I think our character is doing and so on. Because by now you know I like talking whenever we are walking everywhere, and you know by now I walk everywhere if a game gives me the option to walk with a character of mine. I really like soaking up the atmosphere, and we can appreciate the music as well when we're doing that walking. Speaking of music, by the way, I've swapped all the licensed music out of the game. It's wonderful, and it's thematic, especially for Vampire the Masquerade-Bloodlines, but I don't like my videos having commercials plastered over them or being flagged for having that content in them. Apparently, my amazing voice isn't enough to allow me to freely use them in the background. So, you know, someone might hear a note or two to a game that was licensed, and we can't have that on YouTube without commercials being plastered all over them. So, to that end, I scoured my game library for as many tracks from other games that have clubs in them that would fit the theme, or music that I thought might be appropriate for those areas if I couldn't find a club song to kind of match it. There's one in particular that is in no way appropriate, but I figured, you know, I'm swapping out the music, I'm going to have a little bit of fun with this as well. Again, and this is only for the licensed tracks. That will be, for the most part, anything that we would encounter in the bars. Finally, you should know, as I mentioned earlier, that I have played the game as a Mulk for the most part, but for this playlist, we're going to be using a quote-unquote standard vampire. I think most people who like uploading Vampire the Masquerade probably play as Mulks. Mulkavians are fun, they have good, quirky dialogue, and they have good disciplines. But I want to try something new, and since I haven't played the game in a long time, and I've never played through it with a normal type of vampire clan, which is to say, not Nosferatu, not Mulkavian, I'm going to play through this as a Toreador. I shouldn't say this, but I'm a giant dork. And back in the late 90s, I actually played, I think it was in 3 LARPs, as a Toreador. So, well, I figured, you know what? I'll play a Toreador for this playthrough with you guys. So, should be fun. And with that said, I think I'm all done now with the prep. So, I'm going to go and check on the loudness of my voice with the music in the background. And assuming everything's okay, we'll be right back to go ahead and create our character. Give me a few seconds. Alright everyone, it sounds like my voice is coming out well. This is the 36th time I'm attempting to record character creation. I'm rambling on too long, it's taking too long, it's awful. And I'm not going to be able to do it faster than like 15 or 20 minutes. So if you don't care about my trying to struggle through character creation here, go down to the comment section. There'll be a timestamp down there in that pinned comment from me. Click it. You'll be brought to like the final 1 minute of character creation where we'll get to see where I ended up putting our stats, and we'll be good to go. I don't intend to spend a great deal of time here in character creation, but we're gonna cover a small handful of things that I think are important before we get going. Alright, so the first thing we need to decide is, are we going to answer a bunch of questions and have that determine our character's clan and the points that are placed into our statistics, or do we just want to choose that ourselves? And I'm a gamer, so of course I want to choose that myself. One of the great joys of any role-playing game is sitting down with all the character creation books you've got and making your character. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, I intend to play a normal vampire, so that means not a Mulkavian, which is what we see in front of us, and not a Nosferatu. So the reason for this is because, well, of the dialogue choices that these characters have. Mulkavians have quite a few unique dialogue choices, and the way that they speak, or rather our Mulkavian would end up speaking, is rather odd compared to what normal everyday people would be saying. This is because Mulkavians have this dementia that runs throughout their clan. Their bloodline just has this. It manifests itself differently depending upon the character who is a Mulkavian. So I don't want to play a Mulkavian this time around because I've done it so often, so no Mulkavian for us. As for the Nosferatu, well, Nosses are absolutely hideous looking. so much so that their very existence threatens the Masquerade if anyone notices them. The playstyle is slightly different with them because you can't let yourself be seen by any normal human. Like, you're not really going to be able to walk the streets without risking breaking the Masquerade. And as such, you'll be sticking with the sewer systems for some time. I've played through the game with the NOS. While it's very enjoyable, I want to play just with a normal vampire this time around. And so, in that case, we will be playing with the Toreador. And here he is. So, I plan to play him as a great-looking, highly empathetic person, if I can be allowed to say that. To help with that, we're going to go ahead and choose a history with him. Actually, should we cover this really quick? Yeah, let's go ahead and read about Toreadors first. And I'll talk about, I guess, clans, gender, and history really quickly. So, Toreador pictures themselves as artists and visionaries, and they value the high society mentality that the Camarilla reinforces. Of all clans, the Toreador are the most connected to the mortal world through arts and entertainment. Toreador are beautiful creatures. I cannot pronounce this word. How do you say that? I can't pronounce that. And seductive, and move almost effortlessly through the society of the living. The Toreador's empathy is both a gift and a burden. All humanity shifts are doubled. You might have noticed, by the way, when we were over here on the Malkavian, that Malkavians start with +2 bonus to inspection. Every clan has some bonus, or a bonus and a penalty associated with it. But the Toreador, in this case, this means that whenever our humanity is increased, we will gain double it. So instead of just getting 1 or just getting 2 points, we gain 2 or 4 points. And the same for the opposite. Whenever we lose humanity, we will lose twice as much. Let's think here. Alright, so for gender, alright, that was clans. For gender, it doesn't, to my knowledge, it doesn't really matter which gender you pick. You might, I don't think it really matters. You're still able, I think the game spawns I think it prefers opposite sex for you to feed on in bars. But if your attraction or seductiveness is high enough, I think you can feed on same sex as well in this game. So it doesn't really impact anything. And when it comes to quests or missions, I don't think there's any difference between playing a guy or a girl in this game either. So, yeah, there's no difference there. Histories are something new that were added in the unofficial patch I am playing. They allow you to alter your starting statistics in some fashion, or they alter your skills in some way. Generally, it's both a positive and a negative. You don't generally gain just a positive effect for any of these histories. I think they would be similar to traits in the Fallout series that you were able to select at the start of the game. So, I've already looked these over once, and we're going to play a rehab counselor, is our history. You've always had an open ear for other people's problems. That's totally me. I'm super empathetic, and I love listening to people talk. Even if you had to listen to some scumbags sitting in prison. Swap the priority order of your abilities to skills, knowledges, and talents. And that's all that does for us. What does that mean? Let's go over to our sheet. Do you see these? Skills, knowledges, and talents. 3 in skills, 2 in knowledges, 1 in talent. Normally, we have 3 talents, 2 knowledges, and 1 skill. So that's what this does. Most of these other clans have something similar to that, to all these histories. Something that lets you rearrange your starting point allocation depending upon the background that you pick. So Rehab Counselor is for us. And with that done, let's now go ahead and head over to the character sheet. Okay, so I don't really want to cover this in too much detail, but we'll cover a few things really quick. So your attributes and your abilities over here affect your feat scores over here. So if I hover over strength, if you look over there on the right, you can see what gets highlighted. Because if we level strength, our unarmed combat and our melee combat in this case go up by 1 point each. With dex, as you can see, it's lockpicking and sneaking, and so on and so forth. For the vast majority of things in this game, it cares about what's over here and not what's over here. There are some small exceptions to that. Books in particular will care about your research skill for you to read them, But then they'll care about your actual stat. It has to fall within a certain range for you to benefit from that book. Okay, and finally, I guess I should also mention that here in character creation, when you are leveling up your attributes, abilities, or taking a discipline here, you're not spending experience points. You are leveling those skills. The number of times that you have points to spend. So, for example, we can increase any one of these social skills twice, or increase 2 of them once. When you play through the game, to level a skill from one rank to the higher rank will take increased amount of experience the higher up you are going. To level from, for example, 1 charisma to 2 charisma might take, like, I think 3 experience points. And then to go from 2 charisma to 3 charisma takes like 5 experience points. So if you're looking to squeeze out efficiency here, you want to place all of your points, your starting points, into one attribute or ability, depending upon where those points are allowed. So for example, we have 3 points we can put into skills. So if we really want to be good with security, that would be the most efficient use of our experience points. Throughout the game, we will not earn enough experience points to level everything to max. In fact, most of our things will probably be about maybe halfway, if that, depending upon what we are leveling. There is nowhere near the amount of experience points that we need to level everything up. So, all right. So with all that said, that's the basics for this. I'm not going to insult your intelligence by telling you that strength makes you stronger and charisma makes you more charismatic. You don't need to hear me say that. All right. But what I will talk about really quickly is the type of character we're going to make. So I'm thinking we're going to make a guy who is really good looking and is really smart. Exactly like me, obviously. And so let's go ahead and place our first 2 social points into appearance. I've never played a character in this game with a high seduction. So this will be my first time seeing how useful this skill will be. For his mental abilities... Okay, so I'm thinking we'll level his intelligence, because that will increase our research. There will be a few starting books that we'll be able to get access to in like the first about 1/5, 1/6 of the game. And these books, if we can find them, having, I think, at least a 3 research, will allow us to increase skills in our computer and firearms without too much trouble, and without having any points in them, actually, to my recollection. Or maybe you need like 1 point in them. But in any case, we need at least a 3 research for that. And so getting free level ups for skills is incredibly useful. And so we totally want that. And so we're going to put a 2nd point in intelligence here. I guess we could pretend Lotaeri here just came out of college, and he was a great-looking guy in college, too. And he actually learned a little bit from whatever he was, whatever his major was. Occult studies. Let's go with that. Actually, that might make sense, depending, because of the introduction we're about to see. So we'll go along with that, too. Okay, so what else do we want? Okay, so let's go down here to abilities, talents, and knowledges. So for skills, I do intend to take firearms with him at some point, but I'm not going to take it to start. We'll say that he hasn't owned a gun, although maybe he learned how to fire them in the past. He's read about them, understands how to clean them and stuff like that, but he hasn't spent too much time really wielding them. And the amount of reading he's done has been very brief. He's gotten all his information about it from the internet. And so he doesn't really know very much about him, so no firearms from him at the start of the game. But we'll give him some melee to help him out. This way he's not completely useless in combat. The game does want you to do some combat in it, especially if we're not playing a stealthy character, and I don't think we'll be playing a stealthy character. And there are some things you can do in the game which you can't sneak around or stealth pass. You have to fight, to my recollection. And especially in the early game, having some power in either melee combat or unarmed is super important. You really want like at least 1 point in melee or 1 point in brawl to start out. So I'm going to level melee twice to start. And I'm going to say that we did a little bit of sleuthing. Maybe actually we were... maybe we learned how to use a knife from one of our friends, our less savory friends. And he also had us around because we understand how to break into places. So we're going to take a single point in security to increase our lockpicking 1 point. Okay, so for knowledges. Actually, with a little bit of melee and security, that would make him like using a knife and lockpick sec. So maybe he was a bit of a burglar. But he also learned how to defend himself, or at least threaten people with that. But that would mean, we do have an intimidate of 2 thanks to our intelligence. So he's a good-looking thug? Not with the strength of 1. Or maybe he knows what to say in order to threaten people. Oh, no, you know what? I got it! I got it! He is the bachelor from Pathologic. The melee, like he knows how to use a scalpel or a dagger in combat. And security, he knows how to use a lockpick. He looks really good. I mean, to appearance, I think that's supposed to be like you're cute at 3 points in appearance. Like you're noticeable. People, in his case, girls notice him. And 2 intelligence, in the grand scheme of things, that's not super intelligent, but he's no dummy. Yeah, so he knows how to use a scalpel in combat. And knows how to break in places. Maybe he worked at like the local morgue or something like that. For knowledges, so I'm going to go ahead, I think, and put 1 point into scholarship. Do I want another point here? Finance could also be useful. Every point in finance that you take lowers the costs of stuff you purchase and increase the costs when you sell things to people. Having another point in persuasion would be helpful. But then again, if I'm going with the Bachelor, what was his name again? Daniel Dankovsky was his name. You know what? I'm going to change. Daniel, right? Is that how... Oh, I don't remember how to spell it. We'll stick with Lotaeri because I don't remember how to spell the name. I'm embarrassed at that. I might cut the recording before I hit accept to change our name to Daniel. We'll see. Okay, so Daniel wasn't very good with finances, though, so we won't at least take that to start. Let's go with this. So 4 research and 3 persuasion. We have 1 talent, so let's go... Well, let's take more seduction. We'll take a point in subterfuge. We're all about the looks and all about the books. I guess we should totally judge this book by its cover, because it's great looking, and there's good information in it, we'll say. Huh? How about that? Yep, me with the horrible jokes. Now, disciplines. These are your active abilities, or activated abilities. They're like using force powers, or stuff of that sort. Some of them will break the masquerade, and you're not supposed to use them in certain areas, and others are perfectly safe to use wherever you wish. So, in our case, we're going to read about all of these, and then we'll go ahead and choose one. So let's see, what do we got? So we have Auspex. Enhances your mental faculties and allows you to perceive the auras of those around you, as well as see better in darkness. All levels of Auspex cost 1 blood point per activation. Auspex carries no risk of violating the masquerade. So in other words, when we use this, like our eyes focus a bit better. This is very similar to the plague finder, the plague lenses that Daniel had. Only instead of seeing plagues at a great distance off, we would see the outline of others through doorways or on the other side of walls, for example. This also, I think, as we level this... Oh, actually, it says right here what it does. So at level 1, which is what we have currently, it adds 1 point to our wits. So this would give us more combat defense and more hacking power, actually. And as you can see, as you level it, it grants points to wits and perception. It also lasts longer, and the range of it, what you can see, also increases. We have celerity, vampiric preternatural speed. Is that how you say that? The world will seem too slow while you remain unaffected. All but the first level of celerity are obvious supernatural acts, and using them in safe areas is considered a violation of the masquerade. So this is basically super speed. Rank 1 people could believe that you're a phenomenal sprinter, and it doesn't last all that long, I think. 14 seconds. Yeah, people might be able to believe that you're a phenomenal sprinter at rank 1 celerity. But once it's past this, it doesn't actually tell you how much faster you move. But in addition to making you move faster, I think it also decreases the speed of everything around you. It's like you're in bullet time mode. And the effect increases, not in duration, but in how much haste you gain. And how much everything else, I think, is slowed down as you level it more and more. And then we have presence. What does presence say? The dread presence of the vampire can strike mortal fear to the hearts of their opponents. Reduces enemies' effectiveness in combat. All levels of presence cost 1 blood per activation. Presence carries no risk of violating the Masquerade. So, at rank 1, those very close to us suffer a -1 penalty to strength, wits, and perception, and a reduced rate of attack. At level 2, it's a 10... Oh, okay. At level 2, it's -2 to those stats, and it finally adds a chance to be mesmerized. Mesmerized means, I think, that there's a chance when, as long as they're within it, maybe it's like once a second, but I can't remember exactly how often it procs, but there's a chance that they'll just stand there in awe of us, and they won't actually fight us whatsoever. I think they will defend themselves if we hit them while they're mezzed, but this might give us a chance to, like, heal ourselves or do something else of that sort. And as you can see, the duration does not increase as it goes up, but the chance to mez your opponents and the amount of stat penalty increases per level. I think we'll start with the point in presence. Okay, so that's it. All right, so let me quickly save this off. All right, everyone. So if you've clicked the skip link that has brought you here, here is our character, Lotaeri. Here you can see his stats. He's all about looking good and booking good, at least so far. Actually, if it was really booking good, we'd also put some points in celerity so you can book out of there. Haha! But nope. All right, so this is us. Let's go ahead and start the game.
Good evening. My fellow kindred, my apologies for disrupting any business or interfering with prior engagements you may have had this evening. It's unfortunate that the affair that gathers us together tonight is a troubling one. We are here because the laws that bind our society, the laws that are the fabric of our existence, have been broken. As Prince, I am within my rights to grant or deny the kindred of this city the privilege of siring. Many of you have come to me seeking permission, and I have endorsed some of these requests. However, the accused that sits before you tonight was not refused permission. Indeed, my permission was never sought at all. They were caught shortly after the embrace of this child. It pains me to announce the sentence, as up to tonight I considered the accused a loyal and upstanding member of our organization. But as some of you may know, the penalty for this transgression is death. Know that I am no more adjudicator than I am a servant to the law that governs us all. Let tonight's proceedings serve as a reminder to our community that we must adhere to the code that binds our society, lest we endanger all of our blood. Forgive me. let the penalty commence. Which leads to the fate of the ill-begotten progeny. Without a sire, most childer are doomed to walk the earth never knowing their place, their responsibility, and most importantly, the laws they must obey. Therefore, I have decided that...
This is bullshit!
All I'm saying is that he better not do it.
If Mr. Rodriguez would let me finish. I have decided to let this kindred live. They shall be instructed in the ways of our kind and be granted the same rights. Let no one say I am unsympathetic to the plights and causes of this community. I thank you all for attending these proceedings, and I hope their significance is not lost. Good evening. Your sire, tragic, my apologies. But you see, there is a strict code of conduct that all of us must adhere to if we wish to survive. When anyone breaks these laws, they undermine the well-worn fabric of our centuries-old society. Understand my predicament. Allowing you to live makes me directly responsible for your subsequent behavior. So, what I'm offering is not generosity, but the opportunity to transcend the fate woven by your sire. This is your trial. You will be brought to Santa Monica. There you will meet an agent by the name of Mercurio. He will provide the details of your labor. I've shown you great clemency. Prove it was more than a wasted gesture, fledgling. Don't come back until you do. Good evening.
Alright everyone, so here we are in the tutorial. Now, I think I mentioned earlier, but just in case I didn't, we are going to go ahead and do the entire tutorial. I will try to skip some of the tutorial text, because things like this, I'm not going to read this out loud to you guys. You should know by now that we use the WASD to move. For example, moving the mouse around lets us look around and so on. I'm going to skip everything that's obvious and only read the things that might not be. Really quick as well, that was interesting. I think they added some bits to that encounter there in Elysium there with the prince. Nine Rodriguez didn't mention, at least I don't remember him saying, he better not do it from years ago. And I don't remember the sheriff. I don't remember actually getting to watch him slice the head off our sire. So that's kind of cool that they added that into the game. I like it. I wonder what else they've added since the last time I played through this game. It's been, again, something like 6 or 7 years or so since I last played through the game. Alright, and I'll probably comment on this as we play. Anything else that I see that's new or something of that sort. Alright, let's get going. And I'll explain what happened to us in there in a bit. We'll have an ample opportunity to talk about it as we're walking around out in the alleyways back here.
What a scene, man. Woo-wee. Then they just plop you out here like a naked baby in the woods. How about that? Look, kiddo, it's probably a lot for you to take in, so why don't you let me show you the ropes? What do you say?
Who are you?
I'm Jack. What's important is I'm offering help. You make it back from Santa Monica with your hide and we'll trade life stories, okay? Till then, I got about this much time. You in or out?
Okay, I could use the help.
All right. Why don't we, step out back here?
Yeah, let's get away from that horrible place. Oh, nice. Nice change right here. I like this.
Christ, it's stuffy in there, huh? This is much better. Now, we ain't got much time, but I figure somebody should fill you in on the bare bones stuff at least, you know. Could save your hide. You look wobbly. You even had a drink yet?
I won't talk about the gameplay changes from what I remember and now very often, but that was really confusing originally in the game. If I recall correctly, Jack said, let's move back here, and you said something like, I'm fine where I am, or like, yeah, let's go, and then nothing would change. You'd still be standing right around the corner. So I like this alteration. Jack and I have gone someplace else away from the theater. I don't know what you're talking about, Jack. Drink of what?
Oh, man, we're popping a cherry here. Ah, you're gonna love this. All right, check it out. Blood, it's your new rack of lamb, your new champagne. Blood, your new fucking heroin, kid. Get ready, though, because, hey, it's never as sweet as the first time.
What do I do?
Well, down around the corner there, I saw this human. Poor SOB can't find his car.
So what? How?
All right. You go down there, casual like. You creep up on him, then bare those little fangs and feed. Don't worry if you weren't captain of the wrestling team or something, because it'll come so naturally you think you've done it 1,000 times already.
Won't he become a vampire then?
Forget that comic book crap, kid. It don't work that way. Now go for it. Be sure, though, and this is important, so listen up. Be sure not to drain him dry, okay? It might be hard to resist, but don't kill him.
All right. It's pointing to our blood pool over there on the right. Our blood pool is what we consume, it's basically our mana, when we want to use special powers or abilities. So using our blood heal, blood buff, auspex, celerity, or presence abilities will drain blood, depending upon the ability that we are using. The lower our blood, I think, as we begin taking damage, it will also affect if we frenzy or not. I don't know if the game's going to talk about frenzy, I can't remember, so I guess we'll find out together, and I'll explain it in a little more detail in the next video. Feeding on humans fills your blood pool. To feed, approach your victim and press the feed key. It's important that humans do not see you feed on other humans. Correct. That bar up there is the amount of blood that our victim has. As we drain his blood, he will lose it and we will gain it. We don't want to kill him by our feeding, or we'll have given in to the beast and lose a little bit of humanity. Hello, sir. Looks like you're looking for your car. This surely can't be it. As you can see, we are gaining blood and he is losing it. We definitely don't want to kill him. That's good, we'll let him go. Now, if I recall correctly, it's been a long time since I played Vampire the Masquerade in real life. I think they changed all the rules now, too. It's a shame, in a way. But in any case, the vampire's embrace is supposed to feel very pleasant to the people who are having their blood drained from them. They won't resist. It's supposed to be, again, amazing. With the exception of the Giovanni vampire, who is supposed to feel horrific when they bite you, if I recall correctly.
Yeah. Yeah. Hell yeah, you're feeling it. I can see it in your eyes. You're a born-again predator. Feeling that blood bubbling inside you, lifting you up. That's it, kid. That's what it's all about right there.
Great! When do I get to pick my cape? Do I get to pick the color?
Alright now, you got the blood, you're feeling all kick-ass, feeling better than your best day living, but wait, it gets better. All kindred, that's our word for vampire. All kindred have a few things in common. Things that set them right square above humans on the food chain.
Yeah? Like what?
Like sharper senses, a body that can take a beating, and if you play your cards right, eternal life. That's no sure bet, but still, a chance at immortality's not a bad deal. And that's just for starters. Fringe benefits for joining the club.
Ah, so I'm going to live forever.
Well, you can still be destroyed, but forget the books and the movies. Garlic, it's worthless. A cross? Pfft, shove it right up their ass. A stake? Only if it catches you in the heart, and then it just paralyzes you. Running water? That's no problem. I bathe. Occasionally. Now, a shotgun blast to the head. Oh, that's trouble, boy. Fire? That's real trouble. Sunlight? Well, you catch a sunrise and it's all over, kiddo. Get it?
Got it.
Okay, now. The fuck is this? Look, let me get inside here and head upstairs. Meet up with Ben. Just gonna go see what the ruckus is.
You do that. At the bottom of the screen is a use icon. Press the use icon to use things. So we can open and shut doors with the use icon. And the icon will change to show different things depending upon what's going on. Sounds like someone rolled up in a car. There was an explosion, so someone threw a grenade or a Molotov. And then there's gunfire. Standard for California, I suppose. This is the horrors of the West Coast. All right, press jump to jump. Let's see. I think there's also crouching in the game. Yep, there's also crouching in the game. All your feats are combinations of your various abilities and attributes. The higher your feat scores, the better you are at the activities they influence. Inspection is a feat. It's a combination of perception and investigation. It allows you to see hidden and secret things. For example, the lockpick on the crate in front of you. So this is telling us, first off, it's telling us that we can pick it up by picking it up. I think, what's our stat screen? So, as I believe I mentioned in the tutorial, here are our stats. These are comprised by taking our attributes or abilities up ranks. And again, we can see what they influence by hovering over each of these things. We can see them highlight yellow over there on the right. Or, if you hover over one of these feats, it shows you on the left what you would have to put points in order to increase that score a little more. We gained a lockpick. Nice. Let's get through certain doors, what have you. I like walking everywhere, everyone, as I've mentioned already, so you can probably expect it. Even though there's gunfire, I don't think I'd be running through here because I wouldn't want to give my position away.
Come down here. Stay away from the windows. Oh, it's a Sabbat raid. The Sabbat, they're, Christ, I was hoping to spare you this shit till later. The Sabbat, well, they're mostly mindless, bloodthirsty assholes. That's all you need to know for now, alright?
Why don't you tell me how you really feel about them, Jack?
The Sabbat got wind of the gathering here, so they figured they'd raise a little hell and put a little heat on the new prince.
What's the prince a prince of?
No time for political rundown. Job one, get out of here alive. Sabbat might be mindless, but they hit like a Mack truck, like raging savages. Nothing a fledgling like you wants to mess with.
What am I supposed to do?
Shh, shh. Heads up. Back away. Dumb, frenzied Sabbat bastards. Alright, we gotta vamoose out the back quick. I'll stay and keep a watch out. You get us into the office. The door's around the corner here.
I'm on it. We have a quest log. We will try to remember to read the quest log whenever we can. Someone put the effort into writing down the quests, so we're going to go ahead and thank them by reading them. A vicious vampire faction known as the Sabbat has launched an assault on the secret Camarilla gathering downtown. You and Jack are caught in the middle. To escape, you must attain entry into the office. Think of the Sabbat and Camarilla kind of like the Horde or Alliance for World of Warcraft or the Warcraft series, what have you. They have different political ideologies and believe in different things. When a door is locked, you can open it by using a lockpick on it. Once you begin lockpicking, you will see this bar. Everybody says it's time you need to pick this lock. The value of your lockpicking feat is equal to or greater than the difficulty of the lock. You'll be able to pick it. We won't know how difficult the lock is, I believe, until we actually start picking it. So here we go. I don't think the lockpicking speed increases, but it's been a while. We succeeded at picking the lock at a difficulty of 1. What's our current lock picking? That will be 2. Security's just lockpicking? Security's just lockpicking. I liked Jack's little giggle.
Shortcut. Well, nicely done, though. Not exactly an angel in life, were you?
Remember that I think we talked about this during the tutorial. We are playing a character who has broken the law a few times. We're not above doing that, but we tend not to do so. I know how to I have my moments.
Cool. Now, if you want a lesson on how really not to act, take notes from those Sabat assholes. You're a big bad vampire. Yeah, great, congrats. Now keep it to yourself. You go roar and you beat your chest, and that's what you can expect.
Oh, wait, I still got a list of people from high school. Why not?
It's the same reason you don't let humans see you feeding. It's why the wolf doesn't want the sheep to know he's there. It's also why you don't go juggling dumpsters or outrun the 815 from Sacramento, and it's why you didn't know any of this when you woke up this morning.
Ah, I get it.
Keep our secret, and you make things easier on all of us. We're living in the age of cell phone cameras. Fuck-ups ain't tolerated. Makes sense enough, right? Well, it ain't a casual thing for a fledgling like you.
What do you mean? What could happen?
That party back there with the guy in the suit and the McGilla gorilla? The assholes that put your sire to death? That's the Camarilla. They make a tidy business out of enforcing vampire laws like this one.
Camarilla? Are they the vampire good guys?
Yeah, I'll tell you what I think some other time, maybe. I like to let people form their own opinions.
They're not. Alright, what's next?
Alright, now don't worry, because I know the area a little, and you know what? I'm glad we're in this situation, you and I. It illustrates a point. You gotta utilize your surroundings.
Okay, but what does that mean exactly?
You do what you gotta do. Theft, destruction of property, breaking and entering. These will be the least of your sins before the night's out. So look around here. We gotta get out the back there through that magnetically sealed door. There must be a key someplace.
I'll find it. Okay, the area above our blue bar on the left, which is, by the way, our life, tells us the type of area that we're in. If we're in a combat area, we can use any powers, any special abilities or what have you. We can bring out our gun and kill anything. There's no problem doing any of that. If we have the mask symbol there, then we should obey the masquerade. We don't want to use powers that would give away the fact that we're a vampire. And we probably don't want to run around with a gun out and causing trouble with the humans, or police will show up. E is Elysium, and we're not allowed to use I think most of our powers are disabled, and we'll only be able to use, like, oh, it says right here. We won't be able to use, the only thing we'll be able to use will be blood buff, and only while we're lockpicking. In the masquerade areas, breaking the masquerade can carry dire consequences, such as unwanted attention of vampire hunters. After 5 masquerade violations, your game is over. Your current number of violations is displayed in the upper right-hand corner of your character sheet. Those are these faces up here. I think you guys can see my cursor. I'll double check at the end of this recording to make sure you guys can still see it. So once the last one of these is slashed, game over. You don't even get a chance to fight. You don't get a chance to avoid it. You have lost. Keep to the masquerade. When you can use a computer, use it. The many menus and commands will be password protected. Hacking, a combination of wits and computer, is a feat that allows you to hack into password protected items. You'll be prompted to press Ctrl-C to attempt your hacking feat. If the value of your hacking feat is equal to or greater than the difficulty of the encryption, you will be successful. To stop using the computer, type quit or use the escape key. So what's our current hacking? Just 1, so we're probably not going to be able to do that. Let's look around and see if someone has left their passcode around. When you can read a note, you'll be able to read it. Chop shop is the password. I wouldn't mind getting into this safe. However, while we're here, I don't see a way to do it. Alright. So, safe, password, chop shop. Password accepted. To my knowledge, time is not paused while you're doing this. Maybe if enemy, like, they'll run up to you and wait for you to get off the computer before beating your brains in. But you still gotta be careful of enemy patrols, I think, while you're hacking into things. Oh! This is for the safe. Let's unlock it. Safe door is unlocked. Escape. When you approach a container, you'll be able to open it if you open it. Alright, let's see. Chop shop key. The key to the stairwell at the back of the chop shop. Alright, let's take it.
There we go. Now take that key card and head out the back. I'll meet you out in the alley there. I'm gonna check out things from topside.
Got it. We have an inventory, and we can see what's in our inventory by hitting I. So we've got $0. California is very expensive. I can understand that. We have a single key to the chop shop here on a key ring, and we have a lockpick. Tool of the trade for locksmiths and burglars. A lockpick is used to push the pins inside a lock into the correct position until the lock is open. It takes a lot of experience to use these well. I think this is one of the bands whose music was used originally for this game in, I think, at least one of the bars that we'll find ourselves in. I want to say there's something secret in this room, but I don't remember what it is or where it would be located. Like there's some cash, and we have no inspection, so just like me, I'm completely clueless. I won't see it unless it's right in front of me, and even then I'll probably miss it. We've used the chop shop key, and we've lost the chop shop key. Often, keys in particular that we pick up will have a one-time use, and then they will vanish afterwards. You've been wounded by the Sabbat. The blue bar is your health. If your health is drained, you're dead. Your health regenerates over time. When you are feeding, your health regenerates much faster. If your health bar begins to turn yellow, it means you've sustained aggravated damage. Certain hazards like fire and supernatural attacks cause aggravated damage. This takes much longer to heal than regular damage. I think there's like, blunt? Another type, and then aggravated damage. Actually, if you pull up our character sheet, bashing, lethal, and aggravated. Bashing, bullets, or most blunt types of weapons deal bashing damage. Oh, it even says that right down there when I hover over it. Lethal are things like daggers or swords, for the most part. And aggravated damage is everything else that could be very dangerous. Even though, by the way, Jack mentioned that like crosses are useless and stuff like that, if I recall the actual game correctly, it's dependent upon the amount of faith someone has. Holy water can do aggravated damage to a vampire if the person believes that it will do so, or the priest who blessed it believed that it would actually have an effect.
Fucking waste of unlife, these Sabbat vatos. You get winged? Hey, look at them potholes. Those will close up soon enough. Better feed, though. There's someone down the stairs here. It's not the freshest catch, but he'll do.
What's the difference? Blood's blood, right?
Well, when it comes to feeding, it's quality blood you're looking for, not the quantity. Bums and lowlife don't pack the same punch that a healthy, well-bred human will. Juice bags with a pedigree. That's the good stuff, but you gotta take what you can get. You ever had a PhD, kid? Ooh, that's good stuff.
I was working towards one before this evening happened. If you say so, Jack.
Remember what I said, though. Don't kill them. At least not the innocent ones. You're a monster now. Make no mistake. One of the damned and the fallen. You need to hold on to every last shred of humanity you have.
Let's say I get a little overzealous. What happens then?
An innocent's an innocent. You kill one, even a worthless bum, even by accident, and it's gonna cost you a piece of your own humanity. Bring you closer to that beast you got welling up inside you.
The beast? What does that mean?
The beast? It's always there. It's waiting to take over. When it does, it's like a wild animal wearing your skin. Desperate, scared, reckless. He'll do anything to survive, and it's you that has to deal with the consequences.
Alright, he's talking about frenzy. We'll see if the game explains this after we're done with this conversation. So I can't kill anyone? This seems a little, restricting.
I said innocent humans. If some asshole levels a 12 gauge your way, you drain him. skin him, and bash in his skull. Self-preservation is a vital part of humanity, after all. My favorite part, in fact.
I think I follow.
The only way to fight the beast is to keep in touch with your humanity, and don't go hungry. It's a fine line.
Got it.
All right, now go feed. Careful, though. He's gonna drain fast.
Be back in a minute. We've almost fully healed already. Conversations, as you can see, also do not really stop time. We'll feed on him very quickly. If I remember correctly, this poor guy... Yeah, don't drain your victims. So his blood pool, although it will be large, drains much quicker than the other gentleman who we fed on earlier. If we drain a human down to 0 life, and that human wasn't one that we were fighting, and by that I mean, well, this guy is also considered innocent. I guess someone who isn't hostile to us, and on that note, that we didn't cause to be hostile by attacking him. Like, if we can't turn an innocent human hostile and then expect to feed on him and expect not to lose humanity or break the masquerade that way. In any case, actually, I don't think we will break the masquerade if we drain him completely, because there's no one else around who will see us do it. However, we will lose a point of humanity if we do so. Humanity is this meter up here. You can actually, I believe, we can level it by spending experience points if we so desire. It's 7 experience points to raise us a rank through this screen. You will be able to gain humanity and lose humanity throughout the game normally, and it'll be easier to do it naturally. I mean, just be a normal guy. Be nice to your fellow humans, for example. Don't kill innocents, and you will generally not lose humanity. We got to be careful as a Toreador, because we gain and lose twice as much. Alright, let's go ahead and feed on this guy. As you can see, we drained him quite a bit. Draining people also heals us, in case you didn't realize that, in addition to giving us blood.
Not quite as good, huh? You could do worse. There's some rats down the way. You think I'm kidding? You can survive feeding on animals if you can stomach that kind of thing. Ugh.
Worse than a bum's neck? That scarf tasted like old gym socks.
Well, give it a try.
I'll think about it. Rats can be fed on to gain a single blood point. You will find some rats at the other end of the alley, near the yellow windows. Has no impact on humanity score, but humans don't react well when they see live rats being sucked on. I don't think it breaks the masquerade, but it might. If nothing else, I think they'll scream and run around a bit. A blood point, and it might be hard to see it, but over on the right, there are these little notches on that meter. A rat would recover a single point of it. Now, at this point, I'm going to talk about one of the special rules or house rules I'm going to have. Our Toreador is not going to feed on rats. He won't do it. I won't let him do it. It's disgusting. It might spread disease. It will. We'll find out about that sort of thing. Well, not ourselves, but there's always a slight risk of doing so. And I'm not interested in eating rats. We're not going to do so. It's not... Nope. We'll just deal with the consequences. If we're low on blood, we're not going to eat a rodent. I think Jack has some sort of special dialogue right here, because we did not, in fact, do so.
Just couldn't bear it, huh? It's okay. Polite kindred society looks down on that kind of thing anyway.
I can see why. I'm not down with the rodent myself.
Keep it down. Got someone around the way here.
Just one guy?
Not too much of a threat by himself, but you never know if there's more in shouting range. You're gonna have to sneak past.
Sneak where?
The building across from us with the garage door. There's some double doors on the far side. I'll meet you inside. Just stay low and stick to the shadows. And don't let him see you.
I'll do my best. See you in a minute.
Alright, go.
Gone. Alright. Sneaking is a combination of dex and stealth. It is a feat which allows you to move among your victims and enemies without being detected. You must be crouched to sneak. The meter to the left indicates the proximity of your enemies and their chances of detecting you if they are looking your way. The number is the proximity. I think 100, and we're very, very close to them. The color, I think, indicates if they're looking our way. Green means, oh, it tells us here. Green means you are completely safe. Yellow means you might be seen. Red means they will see you if they look in your direction. The enemy's chance of detecting you is directly tied to your sneaking feat. If you are detected, your enemies will often say as much and come to investigate. So, it's been a long time since I've played a vampire in this game to start, right? As we talked about briefly. It's been an even longer time since I even attempted to use a character who didn't have obfuscate. I believe Malkavians have obfuscate, and Nosferatu do as well, which basically cloak you and make you invisible as long as it's active. And later on, as you level it, like, you can stay one place and obfuscate's timer won't even decrease. Ooh. There was an explosion that just happened right there. Poor guy. He walked right into it. Okay, he's looking that way. Nice, we did it. I wasn't intending on taking any stealth or sneaking, but we might put a few points in it to help us. I'm still not 100% sure on how I'm building our character. We'll talk more about it in the next episode.
They're inside here. Seems that shovelhead outside just got separated from his pack. He's wounded too. Go take care of him. Don't worry, he's probably greener than you.
What makes you think that?
The Sabbat, you see, they don't have the most rigorous training program. In fact, that poor sod is lucky if he knows he's a vampire.
How can that be?
He's probably just turned and beaten over the head. They like to do that, make shock troops, cannon fodder, put him out of his misery.
So, in other words, the Sabbat made him, and he doesn't understand what's even going on. The Sabbat don't even care, and then they just released him down here just as someone to help this little battle that they're doing. Sounds good. I've got a little frustration I need to work out.
He is a vampire, so be ready.
I was born ready.
Go get him.
I'm on it. Okay, to engage in unarmed combat, you need to equip your fists. To equip your fists, press the melee weapon. It's weird to equip our fists. Fists are naturally equipped. Basically, this will cause us to raise our fists. Your unarmed feat is a combination of your strength and brawl. It directly affects your success in unarmed combat. There are different types of attacks depending upon what direction you are moving when you initiate your attack. Try different combinations of moving and attacking in the upcoming battle. You can also block your enemy's attacks by holding and pressing the attack mode key, default tab. To put your fists away, press the holster weapon key, H. Alright, let's do it. I'm pretty sure... Oh. Alright, there we go. Once we're in... Yep, the camera will swing behind us whenever we're doing melee combat or unarmed combat. Yes! Hey, yeah, tire iron. You've just picked up a tire iron. To equip this item, go to your melee weapons and go ahead and keep pressing it until it is selected. This icon indicates the weapon that you currently have equipped. For ranged weapons, there are numbers indicating your current reserve of ammunition. It's pointing to the lower left-hand corner, by the way, in case you can't see that. Later on in the game, you will find armor to protect yourself. Equip it in the same way as weapons by pressing the armor key until the armor is highlighted. Alright, so if we do this, for example, and equip the tire iron. Now, we do have points in melee, and almost... I don't think we have anything in brawl. We have nothing in unarmed combat, and nothing in brawl, for what it's worth. So we want to stick to using weapons, as opposed to fighting with our fists.
That's that. Sounds like you got another pack moving in, though. The Sabbat are going all out. You better head underground, avoid straight bullets.
Sounds like a good strategy.
Alright, head down into the basement through the grate in there. Keep that tire iron handy. I'll be there in a minute.
See ya. Oh man, this bathroom has seen better days. Seen much better days. Alright, well, let's head on down. I think there's fall damage in the game, but I can't really remember. There's someone here.
Stop.
Combat is not the only solution for sticky situations. You can also use your feats and disciplines in dialogue. When you're able to do this, your responses will show up in the different colors, and when using higher resolutions, different fonts that are indicated below. Okay, yep. So we've been taking lots of points in seduction, but we have some persuasion as well. We might actually have some intimidate. I don't think we'll get access to any of the topmost. That is, I think the topmost. It's not dominate. I think dominate looks a little different. Oh, a presence response. Oh, interesting. So presence can be used to have us force a reaction. Interesting. I never realized that. Maybe that was added in the unofficial patch. I think this guy was. I don't remember him being down here before.
You! Just stay back. Keep your distance.
I'm sorry, but I had to get to this door, so let's talk with you.
Now who the hell are you? You involved in all this? Because I'm gonna radio this in, and SWAT will be all over this place.
So I'm not gonna go with number 3. I'm gonna play a straight guy, so we're not gonna try to seduce this fine-looking police officer here, but we will do number 2. We have some persuade. No, but if SWAT comes, they'll drive the gunman down here. You want that?
No. Well, I left my radio in the Caprice anyway.
Look, I'm just trying to escape, man. Is there another way out?
Yeah. Okay. All right. This way. This will lead us up to the warehouse. We can maybe sneak out that way.
You better stay here. It's too dangerous for you. I'll clear the area. When you are in position to perform a stealth kill, you will see this icon. Stealth kills have the advantage of being silent. You know, stealth and all. To perform a stealth kill, equip your fist or melee weapon. Crouch or sneak up behind your victim until you see the stealth kill icon. Then, press the use key. Or when you are in higher stealth levels, the attack key. Okay, so let's equip this.
Not sure what's going on. Sounds like the Sabbat's getting scattered. I'm gonna keep an ear to the ground. Be careful going forward here. Could be a whole mess of them holed up.
The more the merrier. Everyone, I think we'll get a chance now. The game's going to teach us how to use all our various vampire abilities. So the disciplines are in the lower right-hand corner of the screen. And the first one it wants us to use is Blood Buff. I don't have a good memory of this one. Blood Buff is another ability common to all vampires. Scroll that mouse wheel down to select Blood Buff and use the power key to activate it. Blood Buff gives you a temporary bonus to all your physical attributes. It is useful in a variety of situations, like picking a lock that would otherwise be too difficult. Note, in Elysium areas, you can use Blood Buff while picking a lock only. So let's see. So if we try to pick the lock normally, I think we fail. We do. We need a lock picking of 3, and our lock skill is 2. Okay, so if we do try this again. There we go, succeeded. And Blood Buff is, as you can see, still currently active, but it will expire very soon. There's a small meter to the left-hand side of the eyeball there. Toreador have 3 unique disciplines. Auspex, Second Sight, that lets you see the aura of others. Celerity, supernatural speed. Presence, the mystical projection of personality inspiring fear and awe. Auspex gives you the ability to see people's auras. The color indicates the individual's disposition. Auspex also increases your perception, important to both the ranged combat and inspection feats. Use of Auspex is not a Masquerade violation. There's a guard up ahead. Use Auspex to see his aura through the machinery. Scroll the mouse wheel to select Auspex and use the power key to activate it. Remember, Auspex is a passive discipline. Make sure to pay attention to the discipline timer on the bottom right hand of your screen. Once you see the guard, equip a tire iron, move forward, and then kill him. Actually, I think we can do this in any order we want. Look at Jack just swagging in.
I think they're clearing out. There's no need to go stirring up the hornet's nest till we know the score, though. Head through here. You'll come to an elevator around the way.
I'll meet you over there.
Meet you there. Don't let them catch you.
If I'm not there in 10 minutes, call the president. Presence is a mystical power to project your personality. It's a passive discipline. Once you activate it, pay attention to the discipline timer on the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. Use of presence is not a masquerade violation. There's a Sabbat guard up ahead. Use presence to frighten and then kill him. Scroll the mouse wheel to select presence and use the power key to activate it. When close to you, the guard should lose his combat effectiveness. Presence is most effective when used with a weapon. After adding discipline, equip your tire iron and attack him. I think we're going to do it this way again, however. Right, we'll try to get behind him. Remember, presence doesn't increase the damage we do, but does reduce the damage he does. I think it lowers most of his stats by 2 points with our current level of it. Is that right? What's our current level? My suit is strength, wits, and perception. So, oh, they do take more damage, arguably, if their wits are lowered, and they had some protection, because wits increases your... I thought wits increases your soak damage. Or combat defense is what that affects. Okay. Celerity is a vampiric supernatural speed. Celerity is a passive and time-based. Use of Celerity levels 2 through 5 is a masquerade violation. Do not use it in masquerade areas. There's a bot guard up ahead. Use Celerity to kill him. Scroll the mouse wheel to select Celerity and use the power to activate it. Celerity is very effective when used with a weapon. For example, that tire iron. Alright, let's do this. As you can see, he is slightly slowed, and we are slightly sped up. I believe the effect is more pronounced with more points in celerity. When you can pick up an object and throw it, you will see this use icon. To do so, use the use key. Thrown objects make noise and can be used to distract your enemies. There's a Sabbat vampire up ahead, guarding the exit. Crouch, find an object that you can pick up, and throw it away from the guard to distract him. Once he's away from the exit, sneak through the room and leave.
Huh?
Fucking humans. Gangbangers protecting their turf. Aw, man. I'm here thinking it's Sabbat moving up in here. It's the fucking locals about to take one for the hood.
So what do we do?
They probably seen too much. Here, take this 38. Fucking pea shooter, but a few shots in it will take down a human.
Thanks.
Well, I'm gonna want it back, so don't go die and lose it. I don't use guns much. They're noisy, they're clumsy, practically useless against vampires, but still, a kindred's gotta keep up with the times. And in modern-day Los Angeles, that means coming strapped.
Useless against vampires?
Well, yeah, some are more lethal than others, of course. Watch out for those shotguns. Ouch, those things can smart, I tell you.
I hear ya.
Head up and clear out what's left of them. Can't have them running their mouths about any of this. I'm gonna make sure there's no stragglers around outside.
Okay. You've just been given a .38 revolver. To equip it, equip it. Ranged combat is a combination of perception and firearms. It's a feat that affects how well you shoot a gun. When you equip a gun, you will see the ranged combat cursor. Its spread and the speed at which it focuses is a direct result of the value of your ranged combat feat. There are some bottles on the crate at the end of the hall. Aim your cursor, wait for it to fully focus, and use the attack key to fire the gun. Alright, let's get some practice in. I think there's some bullets around here too, isn't there? Oh wow, there was quite a few in there. Perfect. Alright, so we have 6 rounds in the gun and 42 rounds total, I think. So this is where I'm going to have another special self-rule for this Let's Play. Most games that have firearms in them, I don't like the way the reloading works in them. I really would have the animation of us reloading this gun. Let's verify this. Yep, is us dropping all the bullets that are currently in the gun and then putting 6 new bullets in. So to make it more realistic in that regard, I'm going to not reload guns until I am completely out of the ammunition in them. That's all weapons I'll do that for. If I am close to being out of bullets and I want to reload, I will need to fire my gun a few times extra in order to drain the clip, or the magazine, and then I'll go ahead and reload then. Wow. We're not very good at this. They give you a few rats down here in case you want to eat, but we're not going to do so. We'll bring this rat friend with us. Ooh. Now, if we had some amount of brawl, we might be able to have fed on this last guy. But we don't. I think you need at least 3 points in brawl, and you can feed on people in combat.
That's it, kiddo. Just like that, and it's all over. Everyone slinks back to their corners of the city for the night.
That's it? It's all over?
Until the next night, when the Camarilla finds some way to strike back. Parry, dodge, spin and all that, and so on, and so on, and so on.
So all this is normal?
Well, to be honest, you came at an interesting time, let's say. The Camarilla, the Sabbat. Now, in LA, these are the new kids on the block. There's already plenty of kindred had stakes down in California long before them. Now, we got every ancient kindred rivalry playing out all over the city. A lot of tension out there. A lot of fear. A lot of jittery, high-strung predators clinging to their little pieces of eternity.
You're losing me here, Jack.
Oh, boy. I think they're looking for you outside. Guess you got a cab to catch. Was hoping to fill you in on a little bit more, but hell, you'll figure it all out.
I will sleep over it. I would like to keep the gun.
If you make it back, stop in at the last round. It's this bar downtown here. I'll fill you in on the politics. Now that's the stuff that'll kill you. Good luck.
You received 2 experience points. We can go ahead and spend them where we see fit. Unspent experience points will stay in your available experience pool. Alright everyone, and we've been playing for I think something over an hour. Absolutely, since it took me about 30 minutes to make a character. So we're going to stop here and we will play the game proper in the next video. So I will look forward to seeing you guys then. Thanks for watching everyone, and take care.